Let's see a show of hands. Who here thinks they make too much money? They wish they actually made less money than they make. Nobody? Nobody? Not a single person. Okay, who here is completely satisfied with the amount of money that they make? That if they got a raise, they're not even sure what they would do with it. Oh, we got one in the back. Okay. Who here is dissatisfied with the amount of money that they make? Who feels that any increase in their income would be welcome with open arms? Oh, virtually everybody. Well, it comes as no shock to me. After all, that's why we're all here. Every one of you has either already taken up a position in retail sales or is interested in starting a new career. And, of course, want to see your sales volume increase, therefore your commissions, therefore your monthly income, and satisfaction with your overall job. I have worked in sales for roughly 15 years. I've sold everything from cars to mattresses to insurance and retirement plans. And I'm here to dispel this notion that sales is this art form. Art is something that some people have in them and some don't. But everyone can be a good salesperson. It's more like a math, like an algebraic equation, if you will. You follow these steps in a specific order, and they lead to a solution. I have devised these steps, 10 steps, if followed in order, methodically, with every customer, and you will double your sales within a matter of months. The first of these is a pre-step, if you will, or I call it the pre-approach. This is sitting down and learning everything there is to know about your products, your company, your manufacturers, your operations, everything there is to know. Salespeople can be some of the most highly paid people in the workforce, and rightfully so, because they can be some of the most informed. If you do not find this to be true about yourself and in the industry you're working in, then you need to stop. This needs to be done before you ever step foot on the sales floor. You need to know your products. You need to know delivery times, warranty policies, everything there is to know, you need to know before you ever even talk to a customer. That's part one of the first step. Part two is appearance. A true professional is neat, clean, pressed, and looking as good as they possibly can every time they walk into the door. This is simple. Buy nice clothes, press them, and keep them clean. The third is a little bit less straightforward and obvious. The third of the first step is attitude. All right? A professional salesperson always has a positive attitude. Bright-eyed and smiles. Now, this can be hard to do sometimes. After all, we don't get enough sleep, or we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, or just aren't in a good mood. But there are ways to make sure that by the time you get to work, you're in the mood you need to be in. You can place Post-its on your mirror, things for you to read while you brush your teeth, jokes, inspirational quotes, whatever makes you smile and optimistic about your day. When you get in your car, listen to the very songs that make you feel good. You know, we all have those songs. If it comes on the radio when you're at a traffic light, the car next to you is staring at you like you're a crazy person. It makes you annoyingly, foot-tappingly happy. Listen to these songs on the way to work. By the time you walk in that door, you're ready to go, you're in a great mood, and the customer can feel it. Step number two is approach or observation. No customer wants to be pounced on the nanosecond their foot hits the floor of the showroom. They find it to be a form of being verbally accosted. They don't enjoy it. They don't want this, okay? So don't do it. Give them 30 seconds to a minute. And this is as much for them as for you. You should be observing this customer, figuring out what their customer profile is. This is useful information. Are they in a hurry? Do they look like they know what they're doing? Are they meandering about with a deer in headlights look? All right, this is all stuff that you can factor in for step three. Step three is your greeting, your opening, okay? There are three types of greetings or approaches. The first is the service approach or service greeting. This is the most widely used and the most unsuccessful opening line used by all salespeople. I'm sure some of you here in the crowd tonight do this as well. How can I help you? This is a terrible opener. Why? Well, 9 times out of 10, the customer says, no thanks, just looking. Now if you continue to try to help the customer, you're harassing them because they already told you they don't want your help. So why would you give them the opportunity in an opening line? This is the kind of line that you use in service. Like if you work at an auto shop, you can ask service greetings. If you don't, then don't, okay? Number 2 is the merchandise greeting or merchandise approach. This is you sit back and in your observation stage, you watch the customer go straight up to this particular sports coat and start examining it and reading the fine print of what it's made out of and its manufacturer. Walk up and say, good eye, that's been our #1 seller all month. You have not set the customer up to push you away and say, no thanks, I'm just looking. In fact, you set them up to have a conversation with you. Even if it's, well, great minds think alike, and a smile, that's better than just looking. The merchandise approach can be very useful, but it's best used on the customer who is in a hurry. Number 3 is the most widely used by the true professional. The true professional salesperson uses the warm welcome, all right? This is saying something warm and welcoming, followed by a pause. How you folks doing today? The pause is essential. The pause tells them you actually care about the response they're going to give. You pause and show your sincerity that you're actually happy to see them and want to hear how they're doing, or if they're having a good morning. This is the #1, and it's best used on customers that aren't sure what they want. Slow them down and make them feel comfortable. Step number 4, qualifying. This is the part where we interview our customer, okay? We want to land the customer on the proper product. To land means to have selected the product you're going to recommend for them. How can you do that if you haven't interviewed them and found out what they want? There's a man named Harry J. Friedman, who's the owner and founder of the Friedman Group. He charges as much as $700 a head for people to come to him and listen to him teach them how to sell. He says this is the #1 most important part of the process and says, and I quote, it is imperative that we define what a customer's true motivations are for buying now, rather than just their wants and needs. Now let's think about that. Wants and needs. I want a car, and I want it to be under $20,000. This is not, you haven't given me any information. Why do you need a new car? Is your other car broken? Did you get a new job? Is the new job construction, so you need a truck? Or is it real estate, so you need a gas economic vehicle? What are your motivations? Why now? Why not next year? I need to know these things if I'm going to qualify and land you on the appropriate product. Number 5, presentation and landing. Presenting your products and landing the customer on the right product, okay? Now, first and foremost, do not overshow your customers' products. Do not show them 5, 6, 7 choices. This is a terrible idea. Do never show them 1 or 2. The magic number is 3. 3 is the magic number. A properly qualified customer does not need to look at more than 3 items. You show them 1, and they don't feel they have been informed well enough to make a decision, and you show them 6, and they're too confused to make a choice. You show them 3. Now, in showing these, it's important that you use a very specific approach to presenting your products. This simple mnemonic will help you. FAB, or FABs. FABs stand for feature, advantage, and benefit. Okay? Let's say I'm trying to sell you a mattress, and I say, they inject foam into the edge of this mattress. It makes it stronger. All right, we're moving on. Let's come over here. What did I even just say to you? You have no idea what that means, and more importantly, you don't care. Okay? Feature, advantage, benefit. Why does this mean something to you? The feature, sir, they inject foam and extra thick steel into the sides of this mattress. Okay. That makes it the strongest part about the entire mattress. Okay. That means when you're trying to wake up in the morning and and you're sitting on the edge, trying to snap out of it or find your slippers, centering all your body weight in this little spot every morning, the edge won't break down and dip and make you feel like you're going to fall out of bed. Oh, well that makes sense. Now I know why I want that. Use the FAB, FABs. Step number 6 is the one that scares salespeople. Trial closes and closes. Okay, maybe some of you are thinking, well, I know what a close is. I've seen Glenn Ross. Coffees for closers. But what's a trial close? A trial close is asking questions to figure out if you have landed the customer on the proper product and done your job. Let's say I'm trying to sell you a sofa, and I say, do you have an old sofa you'd like for us to remove, or is this not replacing an existing sofa? If the customer says, oh, I definitely want my old one taken away, this is a trial close. He has already almost agreed to buy the product. He has said to me, when you deliver me a new sofa, I want you to take my old sofa out. This is telling me I've landed him properly, okay? Now, closing can be very intimidating, and there's a lot of do's and don'ts. Another big-time CEO named Doug Dvorak, who founded a completely different company called Sale Counseling Corporation, came up with a concept of a list of do's and don'ts, things you should and should not do when trying to close a customer. One was body language. Don't fidget. Don't tap your teeth. Don't play with your hair. Don't play with jewelry. Don't drum with your fingers. These types of nervous tics convey exactly that, nervousness. Nervousness is something that liars feel, so don't convey this. Be very mindful of what you're doing with your hands, okay? Number 2, posture. We're always taught as children to keep our back straight and our head high and our shoulders back. This conveys strength and confidence, which are traits that most people admire. So be very, very mindful of it. 3, eye contact. Don't do it too much, but don't avoid it. When conveying important things or listening to important things being said by the client, make eye contact. Nod and repeat things your customer says. This makes your customer feel like they're making a good choice and that they're being listened to. Lean in and never away. When I lean in, I'm very interested in what you have to say. And when I lean away, I'm already finished with this conversation. Are you going to buy or not? I don't want to waste my time with you. These are all things we do not want to send. These are messages we don't want to send. But the number one biggest, absolutely do not ever do this, is speak first after quoting a price. The person that speaks first loses. So how much did you say this was again? It's $1,300. That silence is imperative. The first person to speak loses. If you say $1,300 and then you get antsy and say, well, but if you did this, I could maybe get it down to, you've already given money away that the person didn't ask for. Don't speak. The first person to speak loses. If he speaks first, you've already bought the product. Okay? Number 7, overcoming objections. You went for your trial closes, you went for your closes, and all of a sudden, the brakes came on. The person gave you a reason they won't buy. Do not confuse objection with rejection. They are not the same thing, okay? When I say I don't like this because I don't like you, that's a rejection. If I say I'm just not a big fan of black, that's not a rejection, that's an objection. I'm telling you what you need to do if you want me to still buy this. So don't take it the wrong way. Say, oh, you don't like black? Great, I have a blue one and a green one in the back. Pick the one you like the best. Objections are good. They're telling you what they want. They want to buy. If they didn't want to buy, they wouldn't bother with an objection. They'd ask for your card, thank you for your time, and leave. Step number 8, selling add-ons. Salespeople are awful about this. They always think they're going to push their luck. I already got him to spend $1,200 when he only wanted to spend $900. I'm not going to ask for more money at the counter. Every time you go to McDonald's, a 16-year-old asks you if you want to supersize it. If they can sell add-ons, you can too, okay? The number one highest paying commission items are extended warranties. Why would you not sell these? They're in the best interest of the customer, the company, and your bank account. The difference between a salesperson who makes $55,000 a year and a salesperson that makes $85,000 a year can often be found in the selling of add-ons. This is one of the key differences. No customer ever leaves your store without you attempting to sell them something on top of the major purchase. And if they say yes, see if you can sell them something else too. What could it possibly hurt? The worst they can do is say no. All right? Number 9. Number 9 is cementing the sale. Cementing the sale means after the transaction is complete, the customer is paid, they're holding an invoice, everything's done, don't stop selling. Now you need to reassure them about their choice, about how happy they're going to be, about how luxurious it's going to feel or look, how jealous others are going to be of what they have. There's an important reason you do this. Any of you who've worked in retail have had this happen. You walking into work, you unlock the back door, you come in, you're tapping your feet as you walk, thinking about that customer at the last minute last night that you sold the whole store to. I mean, they bought everything. If you could keep this up for another week, you'll be salesperson of the month, you'll get a plaque, a bonus, and everybody will love you. And you get to the front door, and you start pulling that chain, and there are her shoes. You remember her shoes, and they're panning up to her invoice in hand, wanting to dump all of it back and get every cent of her money back. This is because you didn't cement the sale. She had buyer's remorse. Many people suffer it. Buyer's remorse is a real thing, and it often comes from other people, a spouse or a friend, mocking their choice. But if you had taken the extra time to reassure them that they know what they're doing and they made a smart choice, then they won't want to return it when somebody tries to plant that doubt in their head. Cement your sales. And number 10, following up. We all hate to do it. We don't like to follow up. But the truth is, it's something that only takes about 30 seconds of our time. It's a quick thank you note or a quick phone call. And we don't do this because we're dying to hear your voice again and I miss you so much. We do this because we want to fish for referrals. You incentivize existing customers in ways so they can send you new customers. I'll give anybody you send to me 10% off, and I'll send you some pillows to go with that mattress. I'll send you a tie clip to go with that new jacket you bought. I'll send you some spray to clean the alloy off the wheels, whatever it is. You send them a little add-on, a little perk, a little plus. Follow up. It's worth it. So in closing, I mentioned a Harry J. Friedman earlier, the founder of the Friedman Group. He had a theory of the triangle of value. Think of it almost like a house or teepee. All the joints are holding it up. On the left side, we have what he called the company value. What's your image? Are your commercials catchy? What do people think of you? On the right side, your manufacturers, products, and brands. Do you have what the people are looking for? At the bottom, the foundation. The foundation was the sales staff. Without you, it collapses. You are the it factor. You always have been. There's no amount of planning that can make a company succeed without you, a quality sales staff. Follow these steps, 1 to 10 with every customer, and you will double your sales within a month. Okay? It's been a pleasure, and I will be available for questions later. Thanks a lot.